And it is officially 2 weeks to download.
Too bloody
Whoa.
right.
When this comes out, it will be not now, but it will be when this comes out.
It feels like 2 weeks. I'm stressing already.
Well, when this comes out, if I schedule it for 6:30, we'll be watching don't know who, someone.
What next Saturday?
On the Sunday, because that's goes out on a Sunday at 6:30.
Has your lights just turned off, by the way?
No, it's because this is a very bright screen, and then when I move it to the download lineup, it's darker.
It's darker from metal.
Yeah. We'll have seen Joey Valance already today.
Nice.
No, we won't have. Yeah, we will.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Wait, Joey Valance, what are you talking about?
Because he's on the Sunday of download, which is 2 weeks from the day this episode comes out.
Oh, right. I think that, like when you're... That's fine. That's fine.
You get what I mean now?
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, be excited to see... Well, I say excited. I'll probably be fucking ready to go home at this point to see Slipknot.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, this is the download special, if you couldn't tell.
Too bloody right.
Well,
too bloody right.
Maybe part one of that special, but we don't know if there's going to be a part two. But this is the...
I think we should do... It might be like a debrief after download, just to... I think we'll definitely do one of them, just to be like, you know, it'll be like my voice will be like, oh, it's so basically on the Thursday.
I was going to try and... Just like, I know we've got ones planned until this episode, but maybe like which would be next week's from the day this goes out. I can maybe try. I'm going to try and maybe interview a couple of the smaller bands if they're free. I'm just going to send a few emails away.
Yeah.
Because that's and try and get that for maybe another special. But we have guests. Oh wait, well, there's already been guests from when this goes out. This is a hard thing about pre-recording everything. You have to think really far ahead.
Well, yeah. Well, the first guest that we've actually interviewed on the podcast, put it that way.
Who was it?
It was the mighty, the Ragamuffins.
Yeah.
And also Mr. Big fan of the podcast, Mr. Ben, as we know him, Ben Chidzvidz. That's what we call him, Ben Chidzvidz. Because so his YouTube channel is Chidzvidz. Download Festival veterans. Well, Chids is a veteran. They're sort of semi-veterans, the Ragamuffins. They'll probably hate me for saying that, but but no, they were good to talk to, and they've both got download content, vlogs.
Yeah, I think that was the idea that we had for this episode, was just to maybe try and reach out to some of these other YouTubers, because guys, we're all in it together. It's not an easy game.
Too right.
It went really well though, both of them.
Yeah,
and you're going to hear them. I won't spoil it. You're about to hear them both.
And I'm just so excited for download, man. I really am. Really, really am. Yeah. It's just it's coming slowly but surely, and I think that, you know, next weekend, in inverted commas, because it won't be, because we would have just seen them. It's big weekend. I think once big weekend's kind of done, that's when I'm gonna be. Yeah,
definitely. Especially like, it'll be so good. I'm like moving into my flat and all that just now. So I think by the time download comes around, I'll be nice and settled and on the train. I'm getting the train there from Edinburgh.
Are you just going to get the coach from
Derby?
Okay.
Well, by the time I get to Derby, Ian will have been there for half an hour with Reese. So we're just going to meet up and get the coach together.
Oh, okay.
Because they're getting another train from me now, because it worked out easier.
Right.
But yeah. Okay. Well, guys, enjoy the interviews, which are coming up, and we talk about the lineup and download as a whole. What else do we talk about? Changes and download.
And Chid Stag.
And Chid Stag do featuring a certain childhood star. Not childhood star. Yeah, I think it would be, actually.
Yeah.
Chuckle Vision.
Chuckle Vision. Right. Anyway, first up is the Ragamuffins.
Yeah, that's all.
Come on.
Oh,
welcome, ladies and gentlemen. First guest on the Drop the Line Up podcast. It's the one and only. It's the Ragamuffins here with their professional setup.
Thank you very much.
Compared to us in our room.
Hey, we all got to start somewhere.
That's it.
That genuinely leads us on to what we're going to ask you first. What is the Ragamuffins, and why did you guys start all this? Should get you to introduce yourself as well first. Sorry, before anything. Everyone know who we are, but yourselves.
I'm Alex.
I'm James.
I'm Dan.
Lovely.
Nice. Another Dan.
All kind of started.
Two Dans in here.
We started this because, like, it was pandemic time. We went to gigs all the time, and we just talk constantly about music and all kinds of things anyway. And then when that kind of got taken away, we were just like, well, solid, let's just keep doing it. We'll have to just do it virtually now, and let's kind of just turn it into something.
Yeah, it was essentially just an excuse to kind of just keep having those conversations. And like whenever we'd go to gigs and stuff, we'd be like, "Oh, have you heard the new album by this band?" Or like, "Oh, this band's going on tour. Should we go and check that out?" So it's kind of just a nice way to keep that kind of conversation going and an excuse to keep in touch. And then it seemed that other people liked listening to it as well, so we just kind of kept it going, I guess.
Did it start as a podcast then? Like that's what the whole thing started as, was the podcast.
Yeah, it all started as a podcast, and then kind of as gigs came back, we were a bit like, let's try a bit of vlogging. Let's try and expand.
Well,
like
we've actually got some sort of revelation we'd like to share with you. We've actually kind of almost met before.
I'm pretty sure because I recognize you guys from I used to be in the Sam Pelly Squad Facebook group, so I know you guys were like prominent in there.
Wait, well, we've got an even better one, but we don't know if you don't know it. If you remember,
I reckon I spotted you guys when I went back to edit the vlog, our download vlog. I think you guys were in the circle pit for Malevolence.
Yes, we were like right beside each other, like that.
Right, that little mini circle pit.
Yeah, and then they turned into something a lot bigger.
When I edited it back, I was like, I think I know those guys.
We started it because he was obviously in the crowd going like, "Oh, I want a circle pit here," and then he pointed to the corner where we were, and everyone was just like, I mean, there's people on fucking chairs and everything. So we just started one as a laugh, just like four of us running in a circle, and then it just became this massive thing. We're like, oh fuck.
Oh, that's perfect. There you go. Start a little mini circle pit of 11. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Too right. So
that brings us on then to the subject of this special download episode, which is download obviously. So yeah, we're just going to run through, talk about download just between ourselves for like 10-15 minutes, and why we love it and why we keep going and why we spend all our money on it. Yeah. So yeah, how many downloads have you guys like done each?
I think this year will be my fourth. So like it's relatively like you've got these veterans that have been like, oh, I've been going since it was Monsters of Rock and it was way better back then. So yeah, I've only been 4 times, but like, yeah, I think that's sort of relatively experienced now.
Yeah, and this is
more than us.
This is our third for us too.
Just
that's already more than us.
Did you just go last year or?
Oh, I went to pilot in last year, and then Dan just went last year.
I only went last year.
How was the pilot? What was it like?
It was amazing, just because it was the first thing that happened. So it was just exceptional. It was amazing. Like all my favourite bands were playing it, and it was all like British bands as well. It was just, it's like just what you'd expect from the first festival back. I think was
who stood out most during that in the pilot?
Well, I've got a certain favourite band, a little Scottish group called Twin Atlantic, so it was had to be them. But like I don't know, everything was just amazing. I remember Neck Deep were really good, obviously, and Frank Carter was probably one of the best, the better of the 3 headliners, I think, in my opinion. But yeah, it was an amazing experience. I don't remember anything about Bullet Man. I was fucking gone.
Yeah, it must have been great.
I spent 2 hours talking to a street pastor at the back.
You haven't told me this.
I bet he couldn't wait to get rid of you.
No, he said that he wanted us to stay. He said he was loving it. He was from Castle Donington itself, and he was talking away to us the whole time during
you were listening, man.
I remember it all vividly. I remember talking to him.
but not the rest of the festival. You remember that bit.
That's the only thing that stayed.
Yeah. But why did you guys start going to download? What was your first draw? Why did it get you in?
For me, I'd done like a couple of smaller festivals. Like I'd been to 2000 Trees in 2016. I'd done Slam Dunk a couple of times. And then it was kind of like the first big festival I did. I think the main draw for me was Biffy Clyro playing in 2017. Which is again is controversial amongst a lot of
I hate that. Like I was about to say, like you know, download centered podcast. And we've said that we love Biffy Clyro. Like McGregor loves them, I love them, and it's just there's going to be a lot of people going like, oh, I shouldn't headline. Like shut up, they should. Like they're heavy as fuck. But
I think that was the main draw for me, was like to finally experience like a big proper festival which has all these big names there. And it was a lot of fun. So I've kept going since.
I think it's always been something like I wanted to go to in particular anyway. And you always kind of see it as afar, especially like kind of growing up as like a metal alternative fan. And like, that's kind of like the mecca for like UK, I guess.
Yeah.
But then for like 2019 being the first one and seeing like one of my favorite bands in Slipknot headlining, it was like, I can't pass this up. I got to go. And that was the same year you went as well.
Yeah, Slipknot was the big one for us. I think we'd watched, I think it's 2009, the first year that they headlined that live set on YouTube, which we watched religiously. And so when they got announced for 2019, I think it was a bit of a no-brainer. We'd been going to gigs as a group for a couple of years by that point. So it was sort of it just happened quite naturally. We all sort of came to the same conclusion of, oh, maybe we should go to Download
this year. Yeah.
And the first year you guys went was 2019. It was soaking wet and muddy everywhere, but they weren't put off. So I think that says a lot.
I think we got lucky last year with the weather. The amount of because obviously I'm imagining you did look to older vlogs of people going there, and especially 2019 and even like 2016. I mean, people call it like, you know, was it downpour or drought? No, was it Drownload? Yeah, yeah, that's the one. Downpour. I don't know.
One I've heard, but I don't know the sound of that.
Yeah, and I think we were like really lucky with the weather last year because I think it only rained like a few times, really, if that.
It was just a nice experience just to have that as like a kind of summer holiday in a way. And we ended up with a group of like 10 of us all together, which was really, really cool. Us being kind of the veterans of the group really at that point. And then I think like maybe one or two others have gone before slightly, but a lot of them were quite new to it. And to have like great vibes, great weather, great bands to go and see, I think it makes it an incredible just summer experience. So like the weather's a bit dodgy at the minute. It's a bit hit and miss.
Yeah.
So I'm like praying that it's going to kind of hold out and we get like another good one. But yeah, not as confident with that this year at the minute.
Oh, it's been nice so far though.
Yeah, for you it has. You're up in fucking Scotland. It's fucking shit. Where are you boys from?
We're like Oxford based.
Oh, right. So like I'm Essex. So it's like on that sort of
the same climate.
Him being up near Glasgow.
It's hit or miss. Like it could be a couple of days of nice weather, and then after that, it will just like absolutely piss it down. So trying to go for the nice weather for Download and just praying for it.
Yeah, I hope so.
So you guys, how do you guys like get to Download? There's a lot of folk like drive, bus, train. Like what do you guys get up to?
Yeah, we've always driven.
Yeah. Like last year there was I think 3 or 4 cars worth of people that we went in, and we all pulled up to the McDonald's outside Donington about half an hour before we like went to the arena.
Yeah.
It was this last little moment of like
it's like the Last Supper. Like it's the last time you're gonna have something that resembles anything that's got nutrition.
And
McDonald's isn't normally like the pinnacle of nutrition, but it's a bit better than whatever they put in some of the burgers. The actual vendors.
There's nothing quite like it though. That drive to Download is like the energy in all the cars that we had last year was ridiculous because everyone's like just giddy. It's like Christmas morning, I guess. Like we have like Download playlists playing. Yeah. There was one point where we were in a massive queue of cars quite close to the arena, and James was in a car behind me and Dan, and we were like holding stuff out the window at each other, and like someone took a shoe off and put it out the window, and someone had a packet of donuts.
You had to be there.
I was going to say, these guys are crazy, like throwing shoes out the window. What is going on? There's you talk about like groups getting bigger. Like we had 5-6 people there last year, and now we've got a group of like 25 like going this year. Yeah. So most of which I think first timers. I think this year.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
We'll be leading the way.
Yeah.
I think
we're the experts.
To have like a good group to go with. It just makes it so much more fun.
Yeah.
Like we've got the exact same 10 that went last year coming back again this year. Plus then extras. I think we're like 14, 15 of us. So a lot of them like first time as well. Some of them I think went for like day tickets before previously and didn't stay weekends. So to have them kind of do the full 5-day experience, everyone doing that as well. I think it's just gonna be so much fun. And like having a group, you'll like separate off sometimes, go and see different bands, and you'll maybe all come together for a certain band and then have some food together. Like it's just a really cool experience, I think, to have with a load of like-minded people who are just going to.
What I want to ask, and this would be interesting to ask you guys who have been before. A lot of hate. I know this is a very Download specific question. There was a lot of people who like hated where the doghouse was this year. Like there was a lot of people which I were like, oh, they shouldn't do. I hate how the village, is laid out this year because they've moved it from grass onto like concrete or whatever the track is. What did you guys think of that, considering that you've probably been to the doghouse before in like the previous locations and how the setup was this or last year?
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I feel like they kind of had to do something because of how bad it had been in previous years with the mud and everything. Like 2019, it was just near enough impossible to kind of navigate around the village because of how deep and the mud was, and some of it was even like flowing somehow. That was a bit weird. So
slip and slide.
I think they kind of had to move it onto some sort of hard standing. But I can see what people are saying. It did feel like it lost a little bit of character, but there's only so much you can do with a bit of tarmac, really. And I think it was the right decision, I thought.
Yeah.
I think also, had it rained last year, people wouldn't have complained at all because it was dry on the tarmac. People would have been like, oh, thank God they did this. So I think I really liked it, and it's a lot more accessible. I like, you hear people that need that like improved accessibility, and the hard standing tarmac was infinitely better.
Yeah. I thought it was, as a first timer, I thought it was sick, man. It was so good. If it was just like being in like a bar rather than a club, which is my preferred thing as I get older and can't hack the nightclubs anymore. So it was like getting like the sitting on the seats and all that around it, and then if you wanted to go and chill out, there was that like quieter sort of like stage up the back. You could go, and all the food vendors were there, so you could just be fat as fuck the whole time as well. Sick.
Did you guys?
I think my only thoughts I think are that like in previous years it's all been like in a tent. So if it was raining, then at least you're like partying undercover somewhere. Whereas if it was pouring down with rain last year, then kind of the ground would be less muddy, but you're still getting fucking drenched. So who knows? Maybe they'll put some kind of cover across the sort of crates or whatever they were if the rain's forecast. But yeah, we'll see.
What were you going to say there, Dan?
Yeah, sorry, Dan.
No, I was going to say, no, that's fine. I was going to mention about, because you mentioned food. I was going to say, did you go to the Greek gyros or gyros place that was there?
Alex is a Greek guy.
Not actually Greek.
Not actually Greek.
I was there, I think, 3 or 4 times in the 5 days. I was obsessed. I loved it. It was brilliant.
I'm glad there's someone else who shares my love for that little stand.
Can't stick it, man.
That was popular amongst our group was the like Sunday roast in the massive.
Nah.
Oh God.
Anti-Yorkshire
decided on the first day, like on Sunday, we're going to go there and we're going to have a big fat Sunday roast, and it was very nice. We were just sat in a little circle.
Yeah. That's what our mate Sam does. He made it like a proper big deal when he turned up. He was like, "Oh, guys, every Sunday, every time it he's been like 4 times." He does.
Where's he from?
Stoke, I think. Yeah, but he said it in such a weird way. He was like, "Every time I have it, it's just so nice and like everything." And we're like, "Oh, shut up!" And then he just like he was like the happiest man ever on that Sunday night, tucking into his roast after seeing Biffy.
Yeah, I'm with him on that. It was probably the best meal of the weekend, I'd say.
You got to get the it's the
although a little bit stodgy because we then went to like a whole day of bands afterwards and it just felt a little bit heavy.
Oh, man, eating that and then jumping into like the corn pit. Like,
and then downing the dark fruits.
Onto the lineup for this year, then, guys. What do you guys make of it? It's obviously the 4 days of music. So, what are you guys' opinions on it?
I think it's a good overall lineup. To be honest, like there's a good spread amongst all the days. I think. There's been like previous download lineups where I can kind of pick out certain days, I think, which like that's like my day. But for me, like me personally, I think for a lot of our group that are going, there's like a good spread. You can kind of mark out, especially with the 4th day as well. You can kind of mark out a few bands on each day, which like, okay, I want to go and see them there. I want to go and see them there. And looking like potential clash finders, it's looking like I'm not really having any issues with any of the bands I want to see.
Yeah.
So like the hopefulness is there that I'm just going to have a clash-free download and see all my favorite bands, which is just sick. It's the ideal scenario.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been structured in a way where if you are a fan of like one very particular subgenre of alternative music, there's really a stage for you every day.
Yeah.
And then if you're the sort of person that wants a little bit of everything, then you can just wander the whole site and see everything that you're going to love. So I think it's been balanced. It's probably the most well-balanced lineup in a very long time.
I think this is the most varied it's been in quite a while as well. Like you've got like your standard metal bands like Slipknot headlining, for example, but then there's a bunch of decent pop punk bands on there like State Champs. You've got Pendulum on there, which sort of go into the drum and bass kind of thing. So I think it's very diverse, and I think there's something a bit more of something for everyone this year. My favorite bit on the line, I think, is the Friday on the main stage. There's some mad run that's like neck deep, Pendulum, Architects, Brimley, or something like that.
We were saying exactly that. our whole group are like, we've got big Neck Deep fans. We're massive on Pendulum and Bring Me, and it's just like that Friday. Like, I think who are opening that Friday? Is it like Static Dress or are they Saturday? I can't remember. It's from that.
I think Fever and Fever 333. I think are on the main stage that Friday as well.
Yeah,
it's just insane.
Yeah,
I can't wait for that day, man.
I think there's a lot there. I think for like a younger generation as well. That Friday is kind of built for them.
Yeah,
and that kind of changing of the guard of having a newer headline band in there as well.
I think our most viewed video still is one that's kind of a bit of a discussion topic, but mainly just complaining that download lineups are a bit stale and they need to do something new.
Yeah.
But this year's probably the best that they've kind of gone to doing something new, having Bring Me the Horizon being a brand new headliner, and a bunch of bands underneath that they seem to be kind of starting to promote and build up.
Yeah. Definitely, man. So I was going to ask what headliner you're most excited for, but that's obviously, is it Bring Me the Horizon? Would that be right, or would Slipknot maybe?
I think still Slipknot. They are like my number one, to be honest. This will be like the 5th time I think I've seen them. Like seen Bring Me before and fantastic, and very excited to see their set and how it's going to be at Download. Especially, I think we saw them on the Post-Human tour, and the production level was insane. So I'm kind of intrigued to see how that translates across onto Download. But I think for the love of it, it's going to be Slipknot. Yeah. Still. Although
yeah, for as much as we've complained on our channel about like stale headlines, I'm actually massively excited for both nights of Metallica. Yeah. It's been you see a lot of the sort of discourse around it is a lot of people aren't happy because some people feel like it's a wasted space having 2 nights of the same band, but I'm not complaining. I think it's going to be fucking sick. What about you guys?
I think I'm probably Slipknot just because it's been so long since I last saw Slipknot. I think that was probably my first like metal gig way back like 2016 time, on that sort of comeback, the 0.5 tour. So probably them, and then probably Bring Me, and then I'm not the biggest Metallica fan. I could maybe name you 4 songs off the top of my head.
But you only listened to Monster Puppets for the first time the other day.
I've been trying to listen to them, and it's fucking so boring. Don't know how they're so big. I don't get it at all.
Yeah, but those 4 songs that you know though are gonna bang.
No, hopefully. It depends if I fuck off or not during it.
See, I'm the complete opposite. Like, I've been wanting to see Metallica for God knows how long, and then the fact that we get to see like 2 unique sets, just in the space of 3 days, that's just icing on the cake.
That opportunity is never going to come around again.
No.
What about like further down the bill, like any of the bands in particular you're desperate to see? Haven't seen for like at all yet, and this will be the first time that you really want to see.
I can't even think, man. Simon Neil's band probably quite excited for Empire State. Yeah, can't wait for
that's
them.
going to be cool.
There's a lot of bands that
we've seen. Bloodywood, of course. How can we forget Bloodywood?
I mean,
I just read
them right after Lorna Shore as well. I think
I've never listened to them.
Lorna Shore will be a fun one, trust me. Yeah.
We want to see the Bronx, don't we? We've been getting into them a little bit on that. That Thursday's got some good. I mean, there's like Mum Jean, State Champs, Cancer Bats in the Bronx. They're the sort of ones before Metallica on that Thursday.
Is that your favorite day? Do you reckon the Thursday?
I'd say the Friday, just because that I'm just looking at it now. That main stage, just neck deep Pendulum Architects, then Bring Me. That's just fucking ridiculous. That's insane. But yeah.
There's a load of bands on them like really early doors for me this year, and I've never really had that at a festival before, so I think I'm just gonna be like having to power through it quite a fair bit to like get myself up in time and go and see bands. But yeah,
like we're going to see early doors. Would be like, is Polaris on the Saturday? I really want to see them, but then I'm kind of thinking after Bring Me on the Friday night and then going to Doghouse afterwards, like alarms are going to have to be set. I'm going to have to force myself to get up.
Yeah. I mean, we really wanted to go and see Static Dress last year, but they were on at like 11:30 or something. So it was a bit like we're still on the way back from the Doghouse at that point, really. So.
Where do you guys where did you camp last year? What campsite?
I can't remember which camp it was, but we were quite far at the back of
Blue.
Was it Blue?
Yeah, same as us. Yeah, that's where we were.
Top of the hill, I think, in Blue.
I think we were like middle of the hill. Did you see that? Did you see like that for sale sign on the walk?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you walked straight in front of that, that's where we were.
We were probably maybe like 20 meters further down from that.
Oh shit.
That's really close to us.
They probably heard us at like 5 o'clock in the morning blasting Joey Diaz in like on the speaker.
I knew it was you guys.
I think just to sort of round up, then we've got sort of well, there's all these like essentials videos on like on YouTube and all, everything like that. So what's like one essential that you would always bring that maybe folk necessarily like don't not forget, but you wouldn't recommend? Folk don't really recommend it to bring, but you would bring it anyway.
That's a really good question, actually.
Oh man, that is tough. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like plenty of phone chargers.
Yeah,
because I think like that will go very quickly, especially like if you want to get some like videos of some bands and kind of like make good memories of it. You want to make sure that's available. And obviously, they have like the stuff on site for it, but then it's just obviously easy if you have your own one anyway. I think that's quite key.
Something that has been a game changer for me, or last year at least anyway, was the first time I started using an electric air pump.
All right.
Every year previously, I've had one of those manual ones where it takes fucking 10 minutes to pump it up. It's making the loudest noise as well. You're disturbing everyone on the campsite. Whereas this electric one, you just press the button, plug it in. It's like up in like 30 seconds or so. And
I think Sam had one of them, you know.
Yeah, I think there's a few in our group that usually I don't even bother bringing one at all. I just assume that someone else is gonna have one.
I mean, it's a bit close to the festival now, but if you're still waiting to get a tent, get a pop-up. Because our friend last year, Tyler, he had just had a one-man pop-up for himself. We had a massive 6-man family tent basically.
Bearing in mind, he'd never been to Download before.
That's the funniest thing. We've been to so many festivals before. This was his first ever festival. We're there with a big, because we used to like having like a big tent, so there's like somewhere to sit in the middle and stuff. We had a broken pole, so we were there trying to like
tape
the pole together, try and get it in, and then he just rocks up with his little one-man pop-up tent. Goes,
I'm sorry.
And then he's
that's what I've got. I've got the Quetcher. The Quetcher's the best. I don't know if Greg is still. Have you still got the Quetcher?
I got a new one on Facebook Marketplace. I got a bigger 2-man one with a living room and all that.
I think we made the upgrade to.
I've moved up a class this year.
Definitely, pop-ups. That's quite key. I think.
I'm trying to think. Everyone always says wellies and sun cream, so I'm trying not to. Earplugs or noise cancelling headphones. Yeah. Otherwise, you're not going to get any sleep.
Because you'll have us playing Joey Diaz at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, you're forgetting. You get have you ever had the alcohol pouches, like the little pouches that you can like sort of shove down?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, you can get about 50 off them for a tenner. So I usually like bring 50 and then give them out and then get like free drinks off people in return. Just a little life hack for you.
Little businessman there.
Yeah, mate, they're on Prime as well, so you can still get them in time.
I'd also say bring more socks than you think, because like I can't overstate at times how bleak 2019 was when you're cold and wet. And then it's like
I don't want to think about it because you've mentioned the weather earlier. I'm stressing out now. Thinking, fucking hell, it's gonna be like a monsoon. Like it's gonna come down that hill.
Because you just get dry and you get comfortable, and then one of these guys will go, "Come on, we're going back to the arena now to see a band." I'm like, "Fuck off!"
You're just in the corner like shivering. Like,
I think like by the time we get down to like the week before, like Slam Dunk kind of next weekend. I think if Slam Dunk's going to be good weather, I think my optimism will be there.
Yeah.
Download will be as well. So I'm kind of like, that's my kind of focus point in the minute. So I'm praying. I'm sure if we put the positive vibes out there, Download will be glorious once more.
Yeah.
I always find it funny though how much people obsess about the weather for Download, because like I check the subreddit every now and then, and I think since like January people have been
it's
going,
nuts, man.
Look at the weather forecast for June. It's like, well, it's not going to be accurate, is it?
Yeah. It's like the dodgiest websites as well. It's not even Met Office. It's like you can see all the adverts everywhere and all that.
There's just a random pop up in the middle as well. That's.
I think on that note, I think we've covered all things Download, previous and now. So yeah, just wrap it up. Amazing. Thanks very much for taking the time out, guys. And
no, thank you for having us. This is really fun.
Yeah.
We'll have a beer in the doghouse soon.
Yeah, we'll see you there definitely.
Just one.
Oh, exactly, mate. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. You ever had dragon soup?
No.
Oh, I've heard a lot about it.
Right, we'll treat the boys to a dragon soup.
Introduce us.
This doesn't feel like a treat.
It's like caffeine and like all the alcohol that you don't need in your life, just in a can that you can buy in the shop for £2.
In a convenient can.
I'm down for that.
It's beautiful. We'll get you on the dragon soup. Yeah, thanks very much, guys, and we'll catch up soon, man.
Yeah, sure.
Amazing.
Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
thanks again. See you soon.
Sorted. And we're back with the second guest of the Download special. We're here with Ben Chidzvidz. How are you?
I'm good, man. I've no idea what you want to talk about other than Download, but
that's it. That is all we want to talk about.
I
We just had another group of guys on. I don't know if you know their name. It's like they're called the Ragamuffins. They do like YouTube.
have heard of them. I think they were camped next to us.
That's what they just said.
Oh, did he know who I was as well?
Yeah, they recognise your name when we said. But yeah, the class then. So yeah, that's the two guests we've had on this Download special.
Oh, nice one. Did you get a ticket?
Finally, I got one in the end. Yeah.
Oh, nice one. I have been listening, by the way. See. And are you going as well?
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, I got my ticket. Yeah. You know when they when I think people's payment plans had failed, and there was like maybe like 2,000 that got put up. I was in like a select window where I was like, quick, buy one, and then just instantly got one. They're in demand.
Yeah, they are. It hasn't sold out since I think 2010.
Yeah, was that your first one?
Again?
Oh, your first one was before that.
2009 was my first one.
I think that's basically what we were going to chat about for the next 15 minutes was because you these guys and ourselves had I think the most out of the Ragamuffins they'd been to 4, Dan, did they say?
4, yeah.
We've only been to like 2 proper ones, 1 pilot for me. So you're the veteran here.
You went to the pilot?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
I didn't go to that one. It's the only one I missed.
Yeah.
But then again, I was out in 2019 because I was buying a house.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm done. I didn't even have a job at the time. But the plan was get a job and then find a house. But, you know, the pandemic happened and everything got slowed down. So I ended up going back, and I could see me going back for the foreseeable future anyway.
Good.
I'm definitely there this year.
What was it that made you want to go in 2009 then for the first time? I think you mentioned it in one of your vlogs, but if folk haven't seen.
A couple of mates came over. We just started hanging out like properly as a new group. And they came over, we were having drinks, and I was just on my computer like, yeah, I'll get a ticket. I had no idea. I had no idea what I was getting into. I'd never heard of Download Festival.
Yeah.
And you'd think someone, surely, you know, you're a bit of a goth or metalhead or whatever you want to call me, but you'd think I would have heard of it, but no, I hadn't. And I went to it. I remember arriving. I've got an entire vlog on this, by the way. I can't put it on YouTube, though, because of certain people that are in it that don't want to be on YouTube. But I remember arriving, and the first thing I heard was, I was like, what the
didn't hear that.
I think that cut out because of your mic. You have to speak in.
It's just someone shouted "mangina." That's the first thing I heard. And then, of course, back then, butt scratcher was all the rage. You'd hear it everywhere. It's like butt scratcher. It's like, what the hell's going? It's like everyone's got Tourette's.
Did you see that someone in blue they were called Camp Butt Scratcher last year? They had like a flag of like Peter Griffin. They were like their camp was called Camp Butt Scratcher. Yeah.
Was it? Were we in Camp Blue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were at the pilot. Were you there as well, Dan?
I wasn't. No, that was my first download last year. My very first one.
I think you're both in for a shock this year because of how quiet, and it's not usually like that. It's a way more of a party atmosphere. It's just you had people like sleeping around you, and you were playing music really loud.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be like that, but
that's what we love. We love it.
Yeah.
I think you've been to more festivals than I have at this point. I mean, you're talking about a lot of them. So I go to Download. I went to Bloodstock last year, which is very much like Download was.
Yeah.
That's where all the metalheads that used to go like, I don't like it now, it's too indie. And they buggered off to Bloodstock. But us that actually like other music, we stuck around. No, I'm not complaining or anything. People each to their own, you know. I love it. I can't stop going. I mean, my first vlog that I did for YouTube is because I was going on my own for the first time.
Yeah.
And I just said, oh, this is probably my last one. And I said that because it was pissing down with rain all weekend. But
I just said that to the Ragamuffins, like, because we were talking about the weather and just praying that it's going to be like it was last year. And I remember watching your vlog, actually, like the 2016 one, there was just so much, and the 2019 as well, where it was just like a complete monsoon.
The 19 was particularly bad. I mean, you saw how drunk I was in that video. that one point. I woke up in the morning and it's just everything. Yeah. I damaged my phone. I just the whole weekend was just a bit of a disaster because I went on my own. But now I got another group, so you know I'm back in it. But yeah, I was pretty fucking wasted that.
Well, just because you say that you went on your own, I remember one of the vlogs that you did. You went to Camp Loner. So for those who don't know, Camp Loner is. I don't know when that got started, or if that was like a community thing, or Download started that. I'm not. I mean, do you know that got started?
It's done by these three people: Louise Bedwell, Ben Wilmot, and I can't remember the other guy's name.
Yeah,
but they do a new Facebook group every year, and you could, you know, if you're going on your own, you might as well join that group.
Yeah, I think I join it every year just in case the worst happens and we all fall out.
Yeah,
so I've got a backup on. I think I'm in the 2023 one this year because I always see the posts in it.
Yeah, to hear all the lols.
Yeah.
and once a group hits over like 1,000, that's when everyone starts arguing. And
it's amazing.
and Download fans are the worst. They used to be the worst for complaining about the lineup as well. Like just
they're still complaining about it.
Are they?
Well,
I don't see that much anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's still there somewhat. I think it's usually when they're talking about Biffy Clyro, you know, someone like that. They're like, oh, there's not been a lot I've seen about Bring Me, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone's going, oh, Bring Me the Horizon, why are they there?
There might be some, but you'd be surprised how many people want that to happen and have wanted it to happen for years. Like Biffy, people have been moaning about that one. And you saw how, you were there for Biffy. Yeah. Biffy, weren't you, really?
That's the reason we really did go to Download last year,
I got nothing against Biffy, but I think Korn blew him out of the water.
I agree. But people say that they should be headlining anyway, Korn.
Oh, they should have been. Yeah, they get better every time I see them, and that was like a particularly good show. Biffy was great though. I stuck around for Biffy, but I was shocked at how quickly the crowd dispersed. I don't know where everyone went. I guess everyone wanted a Yorkshire pudding or something.
we noticed that, especially up the front. We noticed how quiet it got. It did get busier as the band. Before the band came on,
but your mate. Yeah, I mean, it was quite good. But I mean, I still wanted a big crowd for them. But I mean, our mate or Gregor's mate Nathan was saying that when Tool played there in 2019 and they headlined the Sunday because of the weather and everything, I think the crowd didn't even go past the sound booth. Apparently, no one went.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect this year because it's been 4 days and everything.
Yeah,
Five Finger Death Punch just pulled out as well, didn't they?
Yeah, we forgot to touch on that. Were you excited? Were you excited for them? Is that a band you like?
No, I've seen them before.
Yeah,
but I could care less. I mean, I'm more excited if they replace them with somebody else. To be honest.
Yeah. They've said people are DMing Benji from Skindred, being like,
they're at every festival though.
They're great. They're great.
They are great. Yeah, they're always fantastic.
It would make more sense because it's the 20th anniversary Download as well, and they're such an iconic Download band that. It would be really good to have them there, I think.
Yeah, that'd be great. So, I can't remember what I was going to ask you now. You go ahead. I've lost.
It was bad to you. I think we're just
Chids is now the new host of Drop the Lineup. That's what's happening.
But you've been to so many downloads. What is it that keeps you going back? Even when you were going yourself, you were still going back and having the best time. So what is it about that place?
It's this weird sense of belonging there.
Yeah.
I live in North Wales, rural North Wales. We don't get many gigs around here. Maybe you'll get the odd thing at Llandudno.
Yeah.
And it's a place that most people can't even pronounce. You know? But it's just if I want to go to a gig, I have to drive all the way to Manchester. I've got to worry about accommodation, all that stuff. But, at a festival, it's all there, isn't it? I mean, obviously you're sleeping in your tent for a week. And it's just this party Christmas atmosphere, and you start to feel it with it. I'm starting to feel it now. It's only a few weeks away.
3 weeks tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean you're clearly addicted to festivals. You've been going to God knows how many.
Yeah,
I look forward to seeing you there as well.
Yeah, it was good last year when we got. I remember there was a bad phone signal and we couldn't meet up properly, but we finally met each other at the burger van.
Yeah. There was only 1 year where they had decent internet there, and that was I think 2014 when Muse played.
Yeah.
They had these like RFID tags. So, you had money on your wristband and all that stuff. And I don't know if people were trying to make it fail or it was actually failed. I never had an issue with it. But because of that and the CCTV they had there, they were trying something out anyway. But because of all that, they had Wi-Fi everywhere.
Yeah.
So I was sat in my tent like watching YouTube.
Brilliant.
I don't sleep. So I need something to do. Like that's why I keep walking back to my car every morning.
That's what I love. I love that in the vlogs. It's just like, like you wake up at like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and it's like you think like, actually on the Friday, what were we doing? Oh no, that's probably the time we were coming back from the doghouse. Like Ben's going up to go to his car, and like doing his Sunday morning stroll. And then there's
young people! I can't keep up with it anymore. As you might have seen in that 2019 video when I was paralytic at like 8 o'clock in the evening.
I watched the 2016 one today just because I'm moving flat. I'm moving out into a flat just now, and I was knackered, so I've stopped packing and watched a video, and it was the one where you just woke up, but it was only like 1 a.m, so you must have fell asleep at like 7 or something.
No, if I'm drinking,
you just got back.
If I'm drinking, I get like 2 or 3 hours at the most.
Yeah.
I do 4 to 5 if I'm lucky.
Yeah, so you obviously just woke up after like drinking, but like at 1:30, that's when like me and Dan are just getting into it.
It's because I start first thing in the morning. I mean, you saw the Manchester video, right?
That's one of the funniest videos that I've ever seen in my life.
Well, that's the guys that took me to Download Festival 2009. Yeah, we still just go on all dayers and like benders. We go to gigs and stuff still. Amazing, but that was a comedian. We went to see Jim Jeffries.
Yeah,
that was good. I'd love to do that more often, and hopefully, as I move in, I'll be able to like start going to gigs again.
Yeah.
I might go to Bloodstock or 2000 Trees. I haven't really decided.
Greg has not been to Trees, but we touched upon the lineup in the previous episode. Trees is really, really good fun. It's like Download, the same type of people that go, same type of crowd, but it's like way more relaxed, way more chill. It's like it doesn't knock you out. You can take booze.
Because it's smaller.
No separate arena. Yeah, it's smaller.
Yeah. It's like what 10,000 people.
So this is news for you, Ben. There's no separate arena, so it's like once you're in, you can take. I mean, they encourage. They sort of are like, well, look, we can obviously make more money if we did a separate arena, but if you just buy a couple of pints to kind of, they kind of encourage you to do that, but. We were just we bought pints anyway, but when we were taking like plastic bottles of vodka and everything going down to the main stage, it's like it literally is like a 10-minute walk from the main stage to your camp, and I'm not doing it this year because I'm doing Transmit, but I'll have to see next year if I go.
What's Transmit?
It's really, really good.
It's like one in Scotland. It's a Glasgow festival of all the sort of the latest pop and indie bands. I think it'd be your worst nightmare.
All right, I like all kinds of music. Yeah. I just come back from a 90s weekend in Butlins.
Oh yeah,
it was a stag do. They closed with that guy from Chucklevision.
Paul Chuckle. Oh yeah, I saw your picture on your story.
I didn't know he was doing. He's like this. The guy's in his 70s, like.
He loves
trying to act like he's on pills, or maybe he was. I don't know.
I want to ask. Sorry. Yeah, that's fine. It's only because I asked the Ragamuffins this same question. With the doghouse, and every single year it seems to be Download changed the layout of the arena and the village slightly. What did you think as a Download veteran? The layout of the village last year compared to previously.
It's the best one.
Tarmac.
Yeah, best one. Yeah, by far. Like, even if I was falling over drunk and cut my knees open, I'd still say that this is the best. Like, it's way better on there. Like, with all that traffic, like, even if it's dry, you're getting covered in dust. So, having it there. And those, they had the containers, right? I thought that was great, too.
Yeah, it felt really cool. It was really unique.
Also heard there was a reason behind it. There was a shortage because the Commonwealth game. I don't know, something. Was
there was a shortage of the tents or something because of the Commonwealth games.
So that's why it didn't have a roof. So they got lucky that it didn't rain. Really. Yeah. But they go through these transitional years, and I think that was one of them. they've been changing things since 2019. They changed a lot of it. That didn't work. Now they're changing again. So I think the longest run they've had is like, because it used to be in the track. You know the Donington racetrack?
Oh yeah.
The stages used to be in the middle of that up until 2007. Then they moved it in 2008, and then everyone started complaining about the walking. They fixed it for 2009, my first one. So if I'd have gone to 2008, I might not have gone again, because maybe the walk-in would have put, or whatever else would have put me off, because that was a horrible transitional year apparently. But since 2009 up until like 2018, the layout has been complete, like all the same. Like the camp that I stayed in 2009 and 10, Brown Camp, is houses now. That field is all houses. So they probably got some kind of like noise. It's probably very difficult for them to move everything around. I don't know enough about it. I want to look into it, though.
I know that the camp that we camped in at Blue last year, when you came over to us, you were saying that used to be like a car park as well. So they're
it was.
They're just moving everything about as much as as best as they can.
Yeah, I recognise that house, and that's pretty much where I parked, was near that.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they're doing this year. I'm interested to see it, though.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully it's a little better.
I think very, very quick. We've got about 3 minutes left as we'll finish up. But is there sort of top like 3 bands across the weekend that you've maybe not seen before, or you're really excited to see again? Like who you're buzzing for?
Bring Me the Horizon.
Yeah.
I always love Clutch. God, I wish I had the lineup on me right now.
That's a veteran download. See, everyone else who complains about the lineup, that's a veteron download right there, saying that they enjoy Bring Me. So you can shut up about the lineups
now. There's a lot on there. There is a lot, and there's a lot of new stuff. What's that rap group? Something and Bray.
Joey Valence and Bray.
Oh yeah, they're amazing.
They are fantastic.
I mean, I love 90s hip hop, especially in the summer. And it sounds very much like the Beastie Boys, so I'm looking forward to
proper Beastie Boys.
That'll be amazing.
I will see. I can't wait.
There's a lot. I wish I could have at least like looked at the lineup properly. I need sleep. Like I've had a really rough weekend. Like, I haven't recovered from it yet. Yeah.
Well, I think on that note, then mate, we're happy to just finish up there. Thanks very much, friends, for taking the time, Ben, to jump on with us.
No, man, I enjoy the podcast, by the way.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Perfect.
Means a lot.
Okay.
And we'll see you at Download in 3 weeks tomorrow.
Yes, you will. Yeah. Fucking hell.
I can't wait.
I'm around quickly, innit?
Just 21 sleeps.
Oh god.
Make sure you bring the horse mask this time if you can.
It's upstairs.
I think I left mine at Download. I left mine at Download last year. I think I left it there, yeah. So I'll try and get a new one.
Yeah, I'll bring mine. I need to bring it anyway. It's starting to melt. It's old, but it's even better because it looks like completely ridiculous now. Just around the corners of the mouth.
Brilliant. Once again, thanks very much, mate, and we'll see you at Download.
All right, cheers.
And that was Chidzvidz, ladies and gentlemen, and that is the cast over. I hope you enjoyed them both. There's no point even extending this any longer. We can just do
and we've definitely just not recorded the intro as well before this as well.
Yeah, I'll edit nicely, but stay tuned for more content on the lead up to Download. We're going to have in this next week or two, we'll have a lot of TikTok ideas and maybe a few YouTube ideas as well.
Yeah, I've got a packing video which I'm planning at the minute.
I think I'm going to go shopping and I'll show you what I've got.
Too bloody right.
See you.
There we are.
See you.
Drop the lineup on everything. Drop the lineup.